Hi friends, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. So we will start our course with this first video, and in this first video I am primarily interested in studying the fundamentals of electricity. To be more precise, I want to discuss some basic concepts of electrical engineering. Before we actually get into the advanced electrical engineering topics, you must be very much clear with the fundamental concepts, and one point to be noted is that in our exams also the main share of questions or the questions where many students feel stress is based on the basics only, because out of my experience I have witnessed that students will be very much aware or very much comfortable in the advanced topics. It may be power system stability also, but such students, most of the majority of such students will fail if questions are asked strongly in the basic concepts. So you shouldn't leave at least one even an inch of the basic concepts and study everything clearly. Okay, if some student who is already advanced in his subject is watching this video, I would suggest you to fast forward this video and watch. But if some student is watching in a such a way that maybe he has got some long gap from the subject, or maybe he is not strong in his fundamental and he is finding interesting, you may watch at your own pace happily. Anyhow, since this is a crash course, this is not exactly a crash course, but at the same time this is not exactly a full course. So since I mentioned crash course, but it is not a crash course, our course will be between crash course and a full course, because with the name of crash course I can't cut down all the important topics, and with the name of full course I can't stretch this video for hours together and make you sit in front of computers and spoil your health. That is the reason why I said that our videos, most of our videos in this complete course will be between a crash course and a full course, because we want you to get a good cost to benefit ratio, or time to benefit ratio. How much time you're spending and how much benefit you're getting. That thing we have to manage. And at the same time, our videos in this course are designed in such a way that generally when you're watching online videos, when you're going through this online classes or online coaching, if let us say the video length is 10 minutes, it takes 20 minutes for any average student to complete the video. The reason is, parallelly by watching the video you have to make the notes, isn't it? To make the notes, what we have to do, you have to pause it, make the notes, again play. So such kind of things generally do happen. That is the reason why it will be double time. So let us say the video time is 30 minutes. You don't think that it is a 30 minutes. The entire learning happens with notes in around 45 to 1 hour, 45 minutes to 1 hour, like that. So keeping in view of such practical circumstances, I have designed this course in such a way that the videos are kept short and crisp. At the same time, not too crisp but not too lengthy, somewhere between that, so that you will have the maximized benefit. That is the reason why our series is also called as a high yield series. Okay, so in the basic concepts of electrical engineering, basically these are 5 concepts that I will be primarily dealing in this module. That is, first one is the charge, and after you have properly understood what is charge, we will graduate to current, and then current, types of current, and then we will go to the concept of voltage. After you have developed these basic properties, then we will study one of the very important aspects of electric circuits or electrical engineering, power and energy. What do you mean by power and energy? How to do the calculations, and at every step, wherever there are relevant problems from basic level difficulty to maximum level difficulty, I will deal through MCQs, so you need not worry about that one. And then we will study about the circuit elements. The circuit element is nothing but element or a part of a circuit, and the values of power and energy in that particular circuit element, voltage and current in the circuit element, the relationship between these quantities with the circuit element also will be properly and clearly examined in this course or in this module. So we will begin our study of charge in this video now. So what is a charge? What is a charge? So before actually getting into the scientific definitions of charge, I just want to give you one statement that charge is the most fundamental concept or most fundamental phenomena in complete electrical engineering. It's not just electrical engineering, I'm talking electrical science. Why? Because always science comes before engineering. After the science is ready, then we will try to utilize the laws of science to manipulate and create some engineering objects, or applied science is basically engineering, I can see in other words. So charge is a fundamental principle of entire electrical phenomena. So whatever may be the phenomena of this so-called electricity or electrical engineering, the entire fundamental or the most fundamental principle which explains almost everything regarding electrical phenomenon is the charge. So without charge you cannot build this electrical phenomena itself. Okay, so getting into the definition of charge, first thing is, from physics you have already learned that every body is a matter. I am a matter, my shirt is a matter, my pen is a matter, you are a matter, this camera is a matter. Every matter is made up of atoms. First you have matter, matters are made up of atoms, and these atoms are the most smallest particles which is composed out of matter. The atoms are composed of something called as subatomic particles. What is that? Atom consists of subatomic particles. So these subatomic particles are basically two types based on their electrical property. Okay, subatomic particles are two types based on their electrical property. What are those electrical property? Simply, as I was telling you, the most fundamental electrical phenomena or electrical property is what? Charge. So based on their charge, atomic particles are two types. So first category is called electrically charged particles. Next is electrically neutral particles. So by the name itself you understood, if that particular subatomic particle of which atom is made of is having some electrical property called as charge, then it is a charged particle. And if it is neutral, it does not exhibit any electrical phenomena, is electrically neutral. And as you know, these electrically charged particles are two types. One is called as an electron, the other one is called as a proton. And that electrically neutral particle is neutron. And we all might have been studying about magnets in general, isn't it? When you say magnet, what will magnet consist of? It will consist of some poles, isn't it? North pole and south pole. A polarity will be there. And we have also studied the laws of magnetism. Let us say you are getting another magnet in this way. If you look at this junction, here north pole is there, north pole is there. And if both the same poles are there, what happens? They both of them try to repel out, isn't it? Suppose if there is a south pole here, what happens? Both poles tries to attract. So this kind of poles will be there. Okay, a magnet will have north pole and a south pole, and depending upon which poles you get together, if you are getting like poles together, they will repel, unlike poles together, they will attract. This kind of some phenomena or some action exhibits. Okay, so this is about magnetic. Similarly, electrical engineering or this electrical charge also has got something like a north pole and a south pole, or simply I can say an orientation or a polarity is there. Okay, you are having a polarity to the charge. So that polarity may be a positive polarity or a negative polarity. Okay, positive polarity or a negative polarity. So as I told you, there are electrically charged particles. Electron is such a particle which is negatively charged. Hence, electron is represented by E minus. Proton is a positively charged particle. It is represented with P plus. Neutron is electrically neutral, so it is N0. That's it, simply. So that is neutron, electron and proton. And as you already know very fundamentally, electron is a negatively charged particle. Okay sir, now you said that every subatomic particle, some subatomic particles are electrically charged. It may be an electron or a proton depending upon the polarity of the charge. Now what is the value of charge? How do we actually measure charge? So basically, if you talk about the quantity called charge, okay, it is alphabetically represented by either small q or capital Q. This thing you must be clear with. And again, it is measurement, or I can say the units of charge. Units of charge is coulombs. Okay, the charge is represented by either q or small q or capital Q, and its units are coulombs, or coulombs in short, sometimes called as only C. So as I was telling you that electron and proton have got their own charges. What is that charge magnitude? That magnitude of charge is called mod q. Mod q represents the value of charge, and the value of charge is 1.602 into 10 power minus 19 coulombs. Okay, this is the value of charge of electron or proton. Okay, this is for both. So sir, if these both are same, then what is the difference between electron and proton? This is where the question comes. The difference is between the polarity. If you see here, what I am writing, mod q. Mod q means simply the number, not its polarity. So if I am asking you to write the charge of electron. Then charge of electron can be written as minus 1.602 into 10 power minus 19 coulombs. Suppose I am asking you to write the charge of a proton. Then that will be plus 1.602 into 10 power minus 19 coulombs. That's it. But this is just the magnitude of charge, and it is same for both electrons and protons. So next aspect regarding the charges is, the concept of charge is that the properties of charge. There are many properties of charge, but I would like to state one primary property of the charge. That is, charge will have polarity, either positive or negative polarity, and like polarity repel and unlike polarities attract. So this is one of the fundamental property of charges. Next property of charge is, it obeys law of conservation of charge. It obeys law of conservation of charge. What is this law of conservation of charge? Sir, we have heard about law of conservation of energy. We never heard about law of conservation of charge. Okay, we will discuss about what is law of conservation of energy. Law of conservation of energy is that law which says that energy in the universe cannot be created nor destroyed, but the energy can be transferred from one place to another place, or in simpler terms, from one system to other system. For example, you are having a fan in my room, in your room. Okay, what you are having? You are having a fan. To this fan, what you are giving input energy? You are giving electricity as input energy. But what is the output to the fan? Rotation of the fan is there, is the output, isn't it? Rotation is nothing but mechanical energy, isn't it? See, you are giving electrical energy and you are transferring it to mechanical energy. But in fact, you are not trying to create or destroy the energy. You can just process the energy, but you cannot decide the start and end of the energy, in fact. So that is the law of conservation of energy. Similarly, the same principle applies for the law of conservation of charge. So same like law of conservation of energy, law of conservation of charge says that charges can be never created nor destroyed, but charges can transfer from one point to other. If this is the case, if charges can transfer from one point to other, what will be the net charge in any circuit? So it will be equal to 0. So that is one of the important conclusion of law of conservation of charge. Law of conservation of charge says that charge can be transferred from one point to other point. Let us say here is one point in a circuit. Let us say I am passing some 10 coulombs of charge. If charge can able to pass from one point to other point, let us say this charge has flown to this point. So what will be the net charge at this point? Some charge has entered, some charge has left, because charge is able to move. I can say net charge, algebraic sum of charges in any circuit will be equal to 0. So that is one of the most important fundamental property of charge. So these three properties, 1, 2, 3, okay, charges can be never created nor destroyed, charges can transfer from one point to other, and net charge in any circuit equal to 0. And before that, like charges attract, unlike charges will repel. Okay, sorry, like charges will repel, unlike charges will attract, is the properties of charge. Okay, so this is entirely the phenomena about charge. In the next video, we will try to understand the concept of current. Based on what we have dealt in charges, we will try to move to the current concept, and we will try to explore the subject in that way in further. Thank you for watching.